Hey guys, welcome to Smith's Kitchen. Brian, Mr. Smith Kitchen, as always. And it's Wednesday. I thought we'd do some cooking. And today we're going to do something that, I mean, you can make it as a side dish, but tonight we're going to make it as a full dish, and that is mac and cheese. But we're not making only just any old mac and cheese. We're going to make a Cajun-style seafood mac and cheese. This is kind of a mixture of an inspired seafood mac and cheese I found, but we're going to do a little Cajun to it. We're going to, kick it up a notch. I'm also going to double the recipe because we're going to make it a meal. And I'll let you know, there's like one or two things I don't double, but for the most part, I doubled the entire recipe so that way we could have it a meal. Feed a family of six. There's six of us here tonight. And we'll side it with some bread. I mean, you could have about any vegetable with it on the side, but it just sounded really good and it's filling. It's quick. You can have leftovers. Leftovers are always good. And it involves two of my favorite foods, shrimp and crab. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If this is your first video, I hope you get something out of this. I do. And I hope you check out some of my other videos. If you're returning, thank you. New subscriber, awesome. Welcome to the neighborhood. I'm glad you decided to stay. If you are new, this is your first video. Most of my videos, we try to promote being a good neighbor through food and just being nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to hit like, dislike, doesn't matter either way, subscribe, notifications. You can share us on Facebook or on social media in general. And if you are on Facebook, check out our group, Mr. Smith's Kitchen. We get together, throw some recipes on there. We can talk, anything you want. Hey, we can talk about anything you want. I would just keep it friendly. Comments, always welcomed. Just make sure you're respectful. If you agree or not, make sure you're respectful about it. So, and I think that's it. We've run the gambit. So, let's get down to the counter where we can start making our seafood Cajun-style mac and cheese. And I'll run through the list of ingredients as we go. As always, I've written it down in my notebook. I will do my best to give you what I can, not only in cups, but in teaspoons, tablespoons, but also in grams. I'm still learning I know when we bake together, I do grams a lot. That's a whole different ballgame. It's still grams, but to try to get everything weighed out and right at times eludes me and I forget. So, but I'm learning. Just like anybody else, I'm learning. I'm trying. That's all I can ask of myself or you. Anyhow, down to the counter. I'm done talking. I'll see you down there in just a second. Okay, so down here at the counter, first thing you're gonna need is a decent sized bowl. I have the most amazingly big bowl from hell, provided by Kristen Brewer Parsley, and I have gotten more use out of this thing than I didn't think I ever would. But in this bowl, I've already cooked up my macaroni. All right, now I've got 2 pounds of macaroni in here. I think the original recipe called for 1. So, but like I said, we're feeding 6. So, and this is a meal, not a side dish. So I've got 2 pounds of pre-cooked, to al dente, because we're gonna put it in the oven with some cheese and other stuff. So, we'll be good there. And I got it in the oven, and it's cool to the touch. It's not fresh. I made it a little while ago. And you want, let's say you're making this to eat that, there in the evening. You can cook it, let it cool for a little bit before you, 10-15 minutes. Because what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna put you want to put 16 ounces. I got 2 pounds of macaroni, 16 ounces of sour cream in here, which is just one small container of sour cream. Now, like I said, if you're halving this, half the sour cream, so it'd be 8 ounces of sour cream. But personally, I wouldn't want to half anything. So, 2 pounds of macaroni, 16 ounces of sour cream. We're going to mix this up. Yep, they are fancy. All right, so we've got our macaroni and cheese sour cream mixed up. Looks kind of like our macaroni noodles and sour cream mixed up. It almost looks like macaroni salad, don't it? To this, I am going to add 12 ounces of crab meat, and that's just what I'm going to start with. The original recipe I think called for 6. I'm going to put 12 in here because we're doubling it. And I couldn't find a 12-ounce container. I found a 16-ounce container. So I do have a little bit extra in case we feel that's not enough. And we'll get this stirred in. Now, this crab meat is, it's claw meat. It comes from the claws of the crab. And it comes pre-cooked. You can actually find it in little cans. Well, by little, I mean 16-ounce cans, 1-pound cans. And I'm here to tell you, buying cans is cheaper than buying fully cooked still in the shell lobster, which I find, or lobster claws, which I find rather odd. So we got that mixed up. Now we just need to set this aside, right? We're going to set that aside over there on the stovetop. I'm going to bring you up to the stovetop right there. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to drop you. Where I've got my pan heating up here. I'm turning it up just a little bit more. I'm using a cast iron skillet. Just use whatever skillet you got. This we're going to take 4 tablespoons of butter. We're going to throw these in here and get this to melt. And then that way we can, I've got a pound of shrimp here, all right? Now, and with your shrimp, you want it to be peeled and deveined, right? No tails, none of that. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna partially cook these. Just do a quick cook on them. Put them in here, we're gonna stir them around a little bit, let them start to get pink, and then we'll, butter and pan, shrimp, turn stir slightly down. Yeah, and then we will take the shrimp out and we will set it, we'll just take it out and put it back in this bowl. And we will set it off to the side because we got some sauteing to do after that. Okay, so we got our shrimp lightly cooked. I'm going to spread that butter around some more. But see, there we are. We're not quite completely pink like they should be, but they're close, still just slightly translucent. So with that butter and that shrimp flavoring in there, I got 1 medium largest size yellow onion, and I've got it diced, you know, nice small pieces. We're going to put this in here and we're going to saute this onion till it's got a nice golden brown color, right? Translucent to golden brown, you know, and soft and tender and delicious. And if you have to, you know, let's say that 4 tablespoons of butter just wasn't quite enough for your needs, you can most certainly do throw some more butter in here, but I don't think we're going to need to. So we're just going to get these sauteed up real quick, you know, a couple, 2, 3, 5 minutes at most, get a nice golden brown look to them. Okay, so we got our nice golden brown look, nice and sauteed, softened up, looking fantastic. So the next thing we need to add to this is, and I've been doing this, I'm going to turn this down a little bit. I've had this on medium high. I have a 14-ounce can of evaporated milk I'm going to pour in here with these onions. All right, that's my favorite thing. The evaporated milk, to me, reminds me of back in the day when I was a kid, because you get to use your can opener and put holes in the sides, and people don't do that anymore. We'll give that a quick stir around. And what we got now is I've got 1 pound of, and the evaporated milk is the one thing I did not double. But I've got 1 pound of sharp cheddar cheese here, and I'm just going to add this in a little bit at a time and get it to melt. All right, that's our next step. Evaporated milk, melt the cheddar cheese a little bit at a time until it is all gone. Oh. I forgot a step. Flour. We need to put in 4 tablespoons of flour, which is 40 grams. I did forget to do that, and I should have done that before I put the evaporated milk in. And that's all right. All we're going to do is it will give us a lighter color instead of a darker color. But it'll do its job all the same by the time it's said and done. That's all that matters. So we'll get our flour in there. While that flour is working its way in, thickening up, starting to get thick, we're going to continue to add that cheese. All right, so we got our cheese melted, flour incorporated. We are just looking thick, ooey, and gooey. So now we will move that out of the way. I'll bring you back down here to the counter where we're about to finish constructing our masterpiece. Get our bowl. We're going to shut that off. We're going to take our cheese mixture and we're going to dump it in here. Just like such. That is one heavy pot. Here to tell you. Alright, so we got our cheese mixture in there. And I'm trying to keep this dish clean because I made the executive decision that instead of using two 9x13 pans to bake this in, because we're going to put it in the oven, let it finish cooking, I'm just going to put it right back in this cast iron. I think that would be the best way to go, really. So, we go ahead and we want to get this mixed up. While we're mixing this up, we're going to add a couple more things to it. So the first thing I'm going to add, I got 2 tablespoons of Cajun seasoning, about 30 grams. I'm going to throw that in there. And use whatever Cajun seasoning you prefer. I think we've got like 5 different flavors of, or makes of Cajun seasoning in our cabinet. I think that's a Slap Your Mama Cajun seasoning, which is good. I mean, they're all good in their own right. It's just what flavor do you want? Yeah, you got just all kinds of different ones. I can't even name the 5 that I got in there. I know there's some Old Bay in there. There's some Slap Your Mama. There's somebody else and somebody else. To this, after we get that mixed up, we are going to add some mozzarella. Now I had 1 pound of cheddar that I put in there. I've got 1 pound of mozzarella done up, but I'm only going to put half of it in here. All right, because we're going to save the rest of it for one of the steps here in a second. So we're going to get that mixed in there. Just like that. We're going to take our shrimp. Now, the recipe that I saw, it said to cut these shrimp up, or rough chop them. I don't want to rough chop them. I want them shrimp and that butter in there just the way they are whole. And I don't know why you can't do that, really. There's no law that says you can't. So we got our crab meat in there. Almost a full pound of crab. We got a pound of shrimp in there. A pound of cheddar. Couple pounds of macaroni noodles. Oh, this is just going to be amazing. I know it smells divine, like seafood should. So what we're going to do next, I'm going to bring you back up here where you can see what I'm doing. Got that messy old skillet there. I'm going to wipe the edges off. This skillet is new to me, so I'm trying to use it as much as possible. For Christmas, I've been wanting a chicken fryer, which is nothing more than a deep skillet, a really deep skillet. This one's about 3-4 inches deep, 5 inches. It's deep, and what you would do is you put oil in here, and that way you can fry chicken with it. But I'm not frying chicken at the moment. We're just having a good time with it. So now we're just going to dump our mix back in there. Kind of like baking a cake. I'll tell you, Kristen, if you're watching, this bowl has really been a godsend in my life. It was like something I never knew I needed, but I'm glad I have it. All right, so got that there. Got everything back in there. Looks like we need to mix up just a hair more. I got some non-mixed up parts showing through. So we'll get that. Just like that. This cast iron is really kind of nice. I mean, it's not, I know I got it for Christmas, but I know a lot about this cast iron. And it's not a horribly expensive cast iron. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be. Cast iron, you'll hear people talk about the expensive stuff. And yes, the expensive stuff is nice. It really is. But it's not necessary to cook with. And if taken care of, it can still last a lifetime. And there's a lot of truth in that. You'll hear people say, oh, cheap Chinese junk. And there is some cheap Chinese junk out there, but I've yet to come across any. Our very first cast iron skillet was that cheap Chinese junk, and we still have it to this day, and I still use it all the time. All right, so we got that on there. Got that in there. Now we got a couple things left to do. We're going to take some more of this mozzarella. We're going to put it on the top. Right? So I got a half a pound in the macaroni and cheese, I got a ½ pound. I'm throwing on top. And then the last thing I need to put on there, hold on for me 1 second. Yeah, macaroni and cheese. Next thing I'm gonna put on top, in here I have got 2 cups of Cheez-It crackers, crushed up, and a ¼ cup of breadcrumbs. And we're gonna throw that on top.
I don't see.
Just like such.
Here.
Okay.
Hi.
All the ingredients will be listed down below, and I will put them in there for a side dish size, which is the original recipe, and this doubled up size. After we get our Cheez-Its and breadcrumbs on top, we'll just throw some more cheddar on there, or more mozzarella on there. And then I'll tell you what else I'm going to put on there. I'm going to put just a hair more Cajun seasoning. Why not? So I'm going to get in this cabinet, and we will get some more. This time we'll use Cajun 2-step. Why not? Let's mix it up. And we'll put some of that on the top. Almost about another teaspoon's worth. Boom, there we go. Now, what do we got to do with this? Although I swear I turned my oven on. That's all right. It can sit there for a minute. We're going to turn our oven on, 350 degrees. Fire it up. I swear I thought I turned that on, but I guess I didn't, which I didn't even tell you to turn your oven on. When we start this endeavor, as far as assembling everything, turn your oven on 350 degrees. So, what am I going to do? Once this heats up, I'm going to put this in the oven, and we are going to cook it for about 25 minutes. Yep, about 20-25 minutes. And we just want that to get nice and golden brown on top. We want to make sure everything just molds together, because remember, we assembled it, right? We had noodles, then we had sour cream, crab, our cheese, seasonings, and then more cheese. Everything's layered, right? Nothing's had a chance to get to know each other. So 350 degrees, 20-25 minutes. That way they all get to know each other, bond, melt, hang out together. And when I come back, we'll take a look at it, let it cool for a minute, and then maybe have some. All right, I'll see you here in just a second. Okay, so the timer just went off. Let's pull it out of the oven, take a look at it, and we'll take it from there. Let's get you down here where we can see you, or where you can see what I'm doing, I should say. There is that. Oven mitts on. I really can't. Someday I'm going to buy a second oven glove. They're like the greatest thing ever. But until then, we'll just use our mitts. Man, I think it's piping hot and looking delicious. And I will say, the whole house smells like a seafood boil, just Cajun fest, ready to go. Let me grab you here so you can see what we got going on. And there we are. There is our end result right there. And so what do we do now with it? Well, now we are going to let it sit for a minute and rest, right? Just like anything else when you pull it out of the oven. That thing right now, that is molten lava. You would burn your face off if we tried to dive into that right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that sit for about 5-10 minutes. Probably closer to 10 minutes. And calm down a little bit. And then we'll scoop us out of the dish and give it a try. If it tastes half as good as it looks and smells, man, we are going to be in like Flint. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so I've let this bad boy cool a little bit. And now we can serve it up. Let's see what kind of disaster we made. Now, if we did this right, in my mind, as I scoop this out, we should have nice, huge strings of cheese. That's what I got in my mind at any rate, but I could be completely wrong. But I know we got a nice crunchy top. That is faux show. Oh yeah. That looks amazing. You need to smell the goodness in it. Oh. There is our mac and cheese, Cajun seafood style. I mean, that really is just a meal in a bowl in itself, which I'm down with on a weeknight. Really, this did not take long to make. Well, the macaroni, I let the macaroni boil for about 9 minutes. Poured it out, let it cool. While you were letting it cool, you could be grilling your shrimp, doing your onions, and then mix it all together, throw it in the oven. Yeah, I'd say 40 minutes maybe, tops. But I can tell you it's still hot. I don't know if you can see that steaming. What? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Here, have a bite. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You're on the other side of the screen. That's all right. Let's say this may taste like crap. You never know. But it doesn't. Yeah. Let me tell you. That is a nice, good, rich, thick, stick to your bones. Lots of flavor. The crab is good in it. There's a piece of shrimp right there. That is definitely a macaroni and cheese kicked up 5 notches. Not even a notch, 5 notches. You have got to give this recipe a try. I need one more bite, sorry. I don't even know if you made this as a meal like I made it and didn't do half. You wouldn't really need much more than this and maybe some bread to go with it. And I would even go easy on the bread because that's going to be a filling meal. Noodle stick. Nothing about that is healthy, but oh, it tastes so good. Give this a try. I mean, hands down, give it a try. It's amazing. Let me know if you do. You won't be disappointed, I don't believe. Yeah, and if you do try it, leave me a comment down below. You can find the original recipe on my Facebook group page. I changed it up a little bit, but not by much. I basically doubled it, added some Cajun seasoning to it. I think the original recipe just called for salt and pepper, and that just didn't sound like fun. So, but yeah, either way. And if you do try it, leave me a comment down below. Find us at Mr. Smith's Kitchen on our Facebook group. You can leave me a comment there. You can even join, for that matter. And there's no, you don't have to answer any questions like, are you a robot? Things like that. It's just open to the public. You know, come in, have good conversation, share some recipes. You know, and have a good time. But all right, so I'm going to take this over to the table. Tomorrow, we are going to do a Texas trash pie. Excuse me. I don't think we'll be disappointed with this one. It comes from a small cafe out of Texas, out of Rory, Texas, I believe. It's this itty-bitty little town. Only got 100 people in it. But this pie is good enough, it made it into a cookbook and made it onto my Facebook group and made it onto the internet. So it can't be half bad, I would imagine, and we're going to try it. I like all the ingredients that are in it. I think you will too. So that being said, I'm for real going to get this over to the table so everybody can eat. We can have a good conversation. Until then, until tomorrow for Texas Trash Pie, I love you. Love you very much. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Tell somebody else you love them and you love them very much. It's going to make their day a whole lot better. It's going to make you feel a whole lot better telling them. Make them some of this Cajun seafood mac and cheese. I guarantee you'll have time for a conversation afterwards about how good it is. All right, till tomorrow. I'll talk to you then. Love you. Bye.